Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So I want to jump right into this video and just kind of explain why I have all my tools just sitting out on the table. And as you can see, my collection is slowly growing, whether it be with new tools or old tools. I just kind of want to talk about the old tools. So recently, my grandfather came to me with this hand plane here. And he told me that this was his grandfather's hand plane. And he was a carpenter, and he knew that if he were still alive today, that he would love to see me have it. I've made woodworking my hobby and my job, and it truly something I really enjoy. And so he gave this to me. As you can see, it is very used, and just could use a little love. And so that brings me to my first point, is that I would like to start doing restoration videos. So some of these might not be complete restorations, but maybe refurbish video because it's either a collector's plane or it's not in that bad a shape, and it's going to be more of a let's just talk about the tool while I clean it up. But I think it'd be really cool to start doing a time-lapse series on restoring old hand tools. Not necessarily just a hand plane, but I have a really old spoke shave that is truly just a brilliant idea, and one that I've never seen before either. But I'd really like to kind of go in depth on these tools, and which brings me to my other point, the history of them. My dad is a history teacher, and I've always really been just enthralled by just hidden history or secret history that either it was just forgotten or lost or isn't just really talked about because no one really cares. Well, that brings me to the hand planes. Most people don't know the history of these tools that everyone recognizes, but either might not know what they are exactly or how to use them. But most people, when they see this, they know, okay, that's a woodworking tool. But no one really knows the story behind it. And that's what I want to also talk about. There's just really cool stories behind so many of these tools. For instance, the tool that my grandpa gave me, I noticed that the little adjuster wheel right here was plastic, and I'd never seen that before. And so doing some research, I found out that they only did that during World War II. That was it. And it's because Stanley was just throwing planes together out of leftover parts and pieces because of the war. So some of the planes will have the same kind of title, if you will, like the jack plane, but they don't have the same parts. Some of them don't have a brass adjuster wheel like this one, it's plastic. The frogs are different. There's stainless steel or brass screws, just all these little things that no one really takes into account why it is what it is. But it was just really cool to find out, like, hey, this was from World War II. And so there's so many other stories like that, and I just kind of want to share that with you guys. This one right here is another one that I just got recently that I'm going to do a restoration video on. It is an old Sargent hand plane. And what most people don't know is that Stanley was a superpower in the hand plane industry because they bought out all of the other small manufacturers. So other plane makers didn't really have a chance against Stanley. So that's why most of the old hand planes are Stanleys. Sargent was a really cool company who was kind of experimental in their adjusters. That's not very traditional, but was just a really cool idea. This one is called an auto set plane, and when I was looking up how it worked and just videos on the plane, couldn't find any. I found one video showing this plane, and it was a restoration video, but didn't show how the mechanism worked, the story behind it, why they made it, and why they don't make them anymore, because Stanley bought them out. But just things like that that people don't know, and I don't want to see that history die. So I want to start doing videos on hand tool history, hand tool restoration, and just maybe not the history of the tool itself, but maybe the owner. If this particular tool was, in this case, my great grandfather's, it's just a cool story that is close to my heart. Another story is this little block plane. That was my first tool I ever restored, and it was my great grandfather's, who he recently passed away, but it's just really close to my heart because that was the only block plane I ever had going through college, and so I did everything up to my thesis and my great grandparents' urn box with that tool. And so I feel like things like that should be talked about and should be shared. It's a legacy. I mean, these tools, some of them aren't from this century or the previous one, and they're still alive today, and the original owners aren't, but their stories are. And so if I can find those stories, I would love to share them with you. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of those ideas. If you have any tips on how to approach them, if you want to see anything specific in those videos, whether it's show us how this works or show us this individual part that you want to see, or just anything, please let me know. I really want to grow this channel in a way that y'all can gain something as much as I'm gaining right now. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit a like, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Until next time, thanks.